What are 5 questions that your ex will ask you when they're actually in the process of falling back in love with you? That is exactly what we're going to be talking about in this video, so stay tuned and watch this video all the way through to the end. Hey there, it's Clay with modernlove.life, and today we are going to be covering 5 questions that your ex will ask you when they are in the process of falling back in love with you. So let's go ahead and get started right with all of this. The first question is probably a little bit more obvious, but we're going to get more towards the less and less obvious things as we move forward here through this video. But the first question here is basically like some form of like, what are we going to do next? Like, hey, what are we going to do next weekend? What are we going to do next summer? What are we going to do next month? What are we going to do the next time this thing comes around, or whatever the case might be? Here, your ex is obviously creating a future vision of what their life is going to be like, and they're including you in it. So that means that they can see a future with you in it. This is very important because it shows you that they are thinking about you in the future, and this is causing them to feel closer to you. This is causing them to want to spend more time with you. This is causing them to see a future with the two of you together. Okay, so this one was maybe a little bit obvious, but we're going to start to get into some more of the lesser known ones now at this point. The second one is, are you dating anyone else? Now, of course, your ex could be asking you this question when they're feeling actually a little bit reactive towards you, when they're feeling a little bit pulled back towards you because they want to try and drop the pressure that they're feeling on interacting with you. So this isn't necessarily one that they're going to ask you always if they are falling in love with you, because they might be just trying to feel out if you're seeing someone else so they can feel less pressure interacting with you. But if the two of you are having positive interactions and getting emotionally closer, they might put their feelers out to see if you're serious about them, or if you're just playing the field, or if you actually are like focused in on them, or if you're keeping your options open, right? Okay, so these ones have been pretty clear, pretty obvious. Let's go ahead and get into some of the more complex, trickier ones. The third question your ex will ask if they are falling back in love with you is something like, you're too good for me. Are you sure you want to, spend time with me? Are you sure you want to get closer to me? Or some form of, basically like, you are too good for me. This might seem a little bit counterintuitive, and it might be a little bit confusing for some people, but basically what's going on here is your ex is at what we'd call one of the 5 stages of getting back together. We actually have a whole video playlist on these 5 stages. You can go ahead and check it out right up there in a video card. But these 5 stages outline your ex's emotional experience. And basically when they're at this particular stage, which is the 4th stage in this process, they're going to be very clearly having affection for you and very clearly in love with you. But what's going to happen is they're going to be at this threshold of taking the interactions that they have with you from a hypothetical thing of, hey, what would it be like to talk to my ex again, towards something very real, where it's like, oh, I actually have feelings for my ex. What am I going to do about it? So your ex is going to be, in many cases, casting doubt on the situation, casting doubt on themselves, casting doubt on the quality of your connection in order to put feelers out to see how serious you are. So one of these things, which is, like, you are too good for me, or something along those lines, one of those sort of, kind of like low self-esteem things. I mean, sure, obviously it could be a reflection of low self-esteem, but it could also be a reflection of they are just looking for reassurance from you that that you still want to be with them, and that you still find them attractive, and that you see some sort of future with them yourself. Basically, they are looking for some sort of reassurance, some sort of validation, some sort of emotional boost from you that says, hey, you're someone I still care about, and you're someone that I want to get closer with. Okay, that was sign number 3. Let's go ahead and talk about question number 4 your ex may ask if they're falling back in love with you. And that would be, something like, hey, this probably isn't going to work, is it? Or, hey, you probably don't want this relationship, do you? Or something along those lines. And again, this is a reflection of them trying to get you to step up and validate that what you are feeling and what you are wanting is actually aligned with what they want. Because at this point in time, when they're at this stage in the process, they are wanting to connect with you. They really understand that they have feelings and emotions and probably love for you, but they're afraid to take that step to make it real, whether that is breaking up with a rebound relationship, telling friends and family that they're seeing you again, or maybe something else like moving back in together, or rearranging their life in some way to actually make this real. They're afraid of that. And so what they want to do is they want to know that what they're wanting and what they're feeling isn't just isolated within them, but that you actually want the same thing too. So that is sign number 4. By the way, if you like this video, please make sure you are hitting that thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm. It helps us out. Also, make sure that you are subscribing to this channel and hitting that notification bell so that you can get notified whenever we post new videos or do live streams, so that maybe you can ask a question and we can give you some help or whatever the case might be. But anyway, please make sure you help us out by subscribing and hitting that like button. Okay, so the 5th question that your ex will ask you if they are actually falling back in love with you, and this is probably one of the most counterintuitive things, is something like, you should see other people, or we should date other people, or you'd probably be better off dating someone else, or something like that, to basically be thrusting you into the arms of someone else. And this can be really, really confusing. And of course, if your ex is just like not connecting with you really well and they're just very angry and upset or withdrawn from you, they might be saying this, right? But they can also say this if they are at that crisis point stage of getting back together, where the two of you are connecting better, where you're getting closer and all of that sort of stuff. This happens because, again, they're looking for that validation. They're afraid to take that step. They're afraid to make this real. And if you were to come forward and say, you're right, I should date someone else. You're right, this won't work. You're right, you probably aren't good enough for me, or something like that, they're going to breathe a huge sigh of relief and say, whew, good thing I didn't put my neck out on the line and actually try to, make this real, actually end the rebound relationship, or tell my friends and family that we're dating, or something like that, because this person would have let me down. So instead, if you can demonstrate to them that you are in this, that you actually do want to connect with them, then this is going to build a lot of positivity and a lot of connection between the two of you. Okay? So what I'd like you to do next is actually to check out this video series over here on what we call the 5 stages of getting back together. What we've talked about is just a slice of this complex issue of your ex's emotional world. Please go ahead and check out this video playlist next. It'll go into so much more detail and give you so much more insight in what's going on and what you can do about it. Anyway, take care. Thanks so much, and I'll talk to you in the next video.